Good afternoon on what has turned out to be a bright, warm and sunny day. It is Thursday, October the 7th. I'm back in the reading nook with some parcels and of course a nice hot cup of tea. And the next parcel I am going to unbox is this one. So let's find out what's in here. So pull cord and we have Tabletops and Tentacles, and this is volume 1, issue 2, and it's from let's have a look, publisher doesn't say. It's the quarantine issue of an ongoing magazine which is funded via Kickstarter, but you can get it from drivethrurpg.com. And it's what's interesting is over the past sort of like 10-15 years, we've had a resurgence of interest in fanzines, and a lot of that is this nostalgia sort of kick which has accompanied the old school Renaissance, and also publishers and gamers looking back at the other games of their youth, bringing them back and so on. And now it's moved on to magazines. So there is not just Tabletops and Tentacles. There's Weird Science. There is Bayat Al-Azif, which is the Call of Cthulhu magazine, and there are others that essentially also Senate, which does board games. So essentially, rather than a big publisher bringing these issues out, these magazines out, it's smaller publishers that are focusing on them and essentially producing fan-funded issues, but professionally done. So this issue, I've already done an unboxing of this issue, and I've also done a review of this issue, and I've done both of the previous issue. So this is essentially the issue that was done under lockdown, under quarantine. It's an American magazine, and it does cover quite a range of subjects, such that it's actually not really a gaming magazine. It's a culture magazine, or basically a geek culture magazine. So so here's the back. There's a list of the things in it. There we go. We're going to have a look inside. And that's not to say there isn't any gaming content in the issue. There is. So here we go. Basically, we've got the editorial from basically saying, housebound, and we were all housebound. And then very quickly we go into the reviews, and these this covers books, games, not a lot of games, but some. So basically nice clean layout, nice and tidy. It's easy to read, and again quite a lot in terms of basically the reviews have been doing a reading, which not surprisingly that they've all been under lockdown. Basically there's a review of The Adventure Zone, which is a cartoon, a comic strip about gaming, fairly fun to read, and there's a certain post-apocalyptic thread running through the issue, as you can imagine. So that sort of starts with spotlight on the film The Andromeda Strain from 1971, which is actually really quite a really good film. Must go and watch it again. It's been a while. So yeah, computer games like Story of Seasons reviewed. So a broad range of subjects. Also The Outer Worlds, which I'm currently playing and really enjoying. Very nice first-person role-playing game. And then we actually got onto the games itself. Board games like Mountains Falls and Hellboy, and so on. And Broken. There we go. Sandy Peterson's Cthulhu Mythos. I've reviewed the first one in the series of the scenarios, and it's alright, it's not bad. And then here we go, things like, here is the editor's ideal casting for Fantastic Four. And that's interesting enough. We've had 4, 5 Fantastic Four movies. And we have things like Complete Guide to Streaming, which is great if you're an American. I'm not going to say anything more than that, you know, basically. And I think this is kind of not very useful. And then 50 films I don't need to see before you die. I actually like this column, and it's actually looking at basically classic films. And essentially this is an examination of films which are often regarded as the best, and then examined to see whether they actually stand up to their reputation. And in this case, it's Night of the Living Dead, and I think somewhere it probably does stand up to their reputation. And then we've got a list of reviews of apocalyptic movies, which is already keeping in theme. So lots of reviews and essentially lists and things like that, like the top 10 pop culture pandemics, which I have to say I am disappointed that it doesn't include the wildcard virus from this series of novels edited by George R.R. Martin, and then more another guide to quarantine themed media, and this is a theme that's running throughout the issue. So we go on to book club, looking at the festival by H.P. Lovecraft. And it does take a while before we actually get on to any gaming. And this is really, it's sort of like, it comes down to somebody trying, the Reformed God Grognard discusses his trying virtual board gaming. Where are we? And we have Tiny Thoughts, which essentially is Alan Barr's sort of like quick thought on various role-playing games. In particular, the theme here is the apocalypse, of course. So it's looking at punk apocalyptic, Pugmire, Apocalypse World, and others. But I mean, these are only thumbnail examinations of these games. And then we finally get on to an actual adventure or actual content you can bring to your table. An adventure called The Green Infection. So again, it's a decent sort of like fantasy adventure that you can drop into your campaign. It's all right. The Realm of the Moon Ghouls, which is a sort of Lovecraftian pulp sci-fi serial, and the bad news is that this is the last one, but this is actually quite a lot of fun, I've thought. It's got if you want to do sort of like Flash Gordon or Buck Rogers meets essentially the Migo or Deep Ones in Space, then yeah, this would be kind of sort of the base thing to go with. And unfortunately, they're going to move this on to Patreon only, and I think that's a big disappointment because I really liked that. And then last, you've got things like Merchants of the Realms and the specialities items that they are selling. So that's okay. That's Tabletops and Tentacles, Volume 1, Issue 2. I can't I can't say definitely go out and buy this. This is something you absolutely have to have. I can say if you want an interesting read, but one that won't really affect your gaming in any way, shape or form, then this is probably worth taking a look at, downloading the PDF at least. I backed it, so I got the backed it on Kickstarter, so I got the physical copy, and essentially I've done the review, so I've got a link down below. But I am looking forward to see what they're going to do with the next issue. And I think basically it really kind of does need to live up to that Tabletops and Tentacles title, because right now it doesn't. So that's Tabletops and Tentacles issue 2. If you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook, please do click that like button down below. If you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate seeing those. And of course, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings here in the Nook, where you will see me with some parcels and a book or game supplement, which I will talk about to the best and extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then do please hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, thanks again for watching, and I'll be back again with another unboxing in the Nook very soon. Bye for now.